Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for this is not for a time specifically. We are doing a past, present, future outcome bonus reading, but this is going to be a theme-based reading, and it's going to be based off of fulfillment. So I have a deck over here. Sorry, I have too many decks on my table, right? But you have this fulfillment card, so the focus of the reading is going to be you finding fulfillment. I feel like that's like what you are looking for, is fulfillment in something that you have grown. And so I kind of have a feeling before we even get started that we could see a lot of cards that would represent work that you've already done, definitely popping into my head. So those would be cards like Eight of Pentacles, for example. In your past position, you have this Explosive Situations card. It says, this destruction will allow new growth to emerge and shape a new future. You have this Divine Infinity card. It says, challenge yourself to go beyond your limitations and you will find your infinity. Yeah, basically everyone on Earth is being asked to go beyond their limitations right now. And here you go. You have the Seven of Pentacles, which is, I'm just going to start saying that the Seven of Pentacles is Libra's card. So, definitely some sort of change that you are going through, and definitely, again, with the Judgment card, or you could be thinking about making changes at this time. So I do like to see that. But, anyway, again, I think everyone is kind of being asked to go beyond their limitations. You have the Justice card, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles in your first row. Again, this is your past position. And the Justice card, of course, is you, Libra. So whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. So a lot of you could be kind of in a very strong position. I kind of get this feeling that like you have put yourself under like a magnifying glass over the past few years. Again, this first row is your past position. And, I feel like this is something that you have been doing, like kind of looking at yourself more closely, looking at the things that need to change, or, even, that it doesn't have to be all about change. It could say that you are looking at things that you want to enhance as well. There could be some strengths that you are trying to make stand out more about yourself. And this could be in any area of your life. Again, the cards in this reading are very general, I would say. And, whenever we have readings where the cards are very general, it kind of just says that you are probably focused on very general ideas in your life. You have the Knight of Pentacles. I think things have been very slow for you, is kind of the feeling I get here. It's like you've been making progress, but very, very slowly. And the Knight of Pentacles, he is a card of progress, but he makes like slow, methodical, kind of like straightforward progress. In a lot of ways, I feel this reading could be saying that you are about to make some much bigger leaps in your progress. It's like sometimes something just clicks in our head. It's like we could be working on a project for a long time and we're like struggling and trying to get it to work. And then like all of a sudden it just kind of like pops into our head what we are supposed to do, or things just kind of click. And I kind of get that energy like throughout the whole entire reading, where if you've been kind of in this, I wouldn't really call it a struggle. I just think it's like a learning period or whatever. And like all of a sudden things are about to click for you. And that is the feeling I get on this Knight of Pentacles. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. He's looking at these Seven Pentacles and he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for me to keep putting time, effort, energy, attention, all that other stuff into these pentacles? Or is there something better that I could be doing with my time? And clearly, there's probably something better that you could be doing with your time, because we go straight across to the Six of Pentacles. What's really funny is we have the Four of Pentacles, which is kind of like holding on to the old ways of doing things. King of Pentacles, same thing. King of Pentacles is a good card, but he is the card of convention, doing things the same way over and over and over again. And then we have the Six of Swords, which is like finally moving on to calmer shores. So a lot of you, like whatever is clicking for you at this time, could lead you to calmer shores, or just general improvements, which would be great. With the Justice card, yes, you have the Five of Pentacles. You start and end with the Five of Pentacles, and that's why I said that it's almost like you are under a magnifying glass. I feel like you are tightening up. It's like it's like there are certain things that you are tightening up. Like these could be skills in your life, where it's like, I'm not saying that you've been doing things in a messy way or anything like that, but, just like you're getting tighter. You're focusing on those things that you're good at, and you're becoming the best right? Maybe that's a good way to put it. And that's kind of the energy that I feel here. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Four Wands. Four Wands can be marriage, but one thing I will say about the time that we're in right now is that we are all being asked to commit to something new. And the Four Wands is a card of freedom, and we have to set ourselves free by completing something. This kind of looks like a finish line, and we have to cross through this threshold here, and we have to go celebrate with these people on the other side. The other thing that's popping into my head here, Libra, is I feel like you have to be careful of like the party poopers in your life. It's like have you ever said something to someone that like a good thing, that happened to you, and then you can tell that the other person they might be putting on a smile, but it's like a fake smile. You get what I'm saying? It's like it's like they say they're happy for you, but you can tell that they're not, And I feel like for whatever reason that popped into my head with the Four Wands, and I feel like the Four Wands is saying you need to avoid those people. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, but, Seven of Swords is really a card of being tactical and doing things in a better way. And so he is sneaking away from this army in the background, and he's stealing their swords. Another theme that comes up quite a bit nowadays is these polka dots. Polka dots in the tarot can represent taking things too seriously, and we have to just be more kind of like, we have to practice non-attachment. So if we're trying to accomplish something, we just have to look at it as a journey. We just have to enjoy the journey and say, I will just see how this goes, and not be too attached to the outcome. And that is also popping into my head. Next, in your present position, you have this Serpent, which is basically the same thing as the Seven of Swords. It says, a sly and subtle approach is needed. You have this Dragon. It says strength and wisdom. There's actually a lot of strength in this reading. You show up as yourself. You have the Five of Pentacles twice and the Strength card. The Five of Pentacles is a card of calling attention to your weaknesses, but the solution is to double down on your strengths. So, again, even though it's a card of weakness, I feel that this reading is saying that you need to kind of strengthen and tighten up those things that you are good at. I feel like just like it's popping into my head too that, if this is like a skill that you have that you're really good at, but maybe you just need to like tighten it up a little bit. I feel that this is going to require like minimal effort. It's not going to be something that is going to take forever. So I think it'll be totally worth it. The Snake card here, it says sly, subtle approach is needed. And again, Seven of Swords is also a sly, subtle approach. And so, but also along with that, this could represent keeping your ideas to yourself, because maybe you need to kind of like not tell those people that you can tell are not happy for you what you're doing, right? And I definitely feel that. I felt it on the Four Wands. You have the Temperance card in your present position, the Judgment card, and the Four of Pentacles. I feel like you have been very patient for a long time. And so, I kind of just get patience here. We also go down to the Strength card in this diagonal, going this way. And the Strength card is also a card of patience. So I feel like you have been patient. He's mixing these two cups together here. And so he is practicing alchemy, but he could also be trying to figure out what skill he is good at. Or he could be, it's kind of like he is trying to have an effect on the world. And maybe that's what you're doing, Libra. I say maybe because, this isn't necessarily intuitive, but, just putting all these cards together in my head, and also talking about you tightening up your skills, it's like maybe he's trying to figure out in your reading, like what he is best at and where he can, make the biggest impact or whatever the case may be. And so I feel a lot of you are kind of focused on developing skills or, doing that, whatever the hell that means, right? You have the Judgment card. Judgment is about kind of like answering the call to your purpose. I feel this has been a challenge for Libra since 2016. Again, looking at your astrology since about 2016, I feel that maybe a lot of Libras have been, trying to get a job, for example, that you're qualified for. Like that's a challenge that Libra has dealt with, is getting something that matches their skills, right? Or getting something that you are qualified for. And so a lot of you could be finally getting something that matches your skill, or you could be understanding your purpose on a deeper level, like what you are actually meant to be doing, what you are actually good at. And I feel that will be good for you, Libra. You could even be getting an offer, because we go up to the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups can be a love offer, but, Ace of Cups can also just be an offer that you will love. So, it could be a job offer, a business offer, something like that, and it will probably make you very happy. So, that's what I feel there. You have the Four of Pentacles. Again, Four of Pentacles can represent holding on too tightly to the past and needing to release the past. Now that I'm holding the card, I do feel like okay about the card at the same time. Like I feel a lot of you are doing things to stabilize your finances. He can represent financial stability. So he's not, this isn't an all bad card, right? He is doing things maybe to protect his finances. Maybe he's learning new things, even with the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is a card of wealth, but when he shows up in a reading, it could say that the person I'm reading for is learning how to, protect their wealth, build wealth, save money, things like that. And so I kind of get that feeling on the Four of Pentacles as well. There's like a little bit of fear here because we go up to the Five of Pentacles. I don't necessarily feel this is bad because, should we be coming from a place of fear? No. But it's like sometimes I think just a tiny little bit of fear about our finances can kind of make us be a little bit more responsible. And, maybe that's what's happening. With the Temperance card, you have the World card. The World can represent an accomplishment or an achievement. And there definitely could be like an accomplishment or an achievement that makes you feel really good here with the, Ace of Cups here. So I feel for a lot of you, this could be like just an accomplishment or an achievement. And yeah, that's really all I'm getting off of that card. With the Judgment card, you have the King of Pentacles. Some of you could be revisiting a skill. We just had that full moon in Scorpio on the 12th of May. And so even if you're watching this after, doesn't matter. You could be kind of looking at something that you want to do work-wise is what I feel here. Even if you're retired, you could still do things during the day. It's like, I don't think all retired people just sit around and do nothing. So, there could be things that you want to work on, but, you could be revisiting something that you worked on a while ago. And I said this on that fulfillment card, that, it seems to me like the fulfillment is coming from work that you've already done. But this could also just be something that you're tightening up. It could be like a skill where maybe it could make you a lot of money if you kind of get tighter, if you get clearer, or, if you develop the skill more. And I feel that with this card. Next, with the Four of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Cups. Yeah, wish fulfillment, getting something you want. I always say the Nine of Cups is a card of being in alignment. So really, it is a card of wish, but he's getting the wish because he is in alignment with what he wants. So it's like if you want money, for example, you do have to practice good money habits. You do have to, develop an abundance mindset and all that other stuff, right? So he does everything, not just one thing. He practices healthy, money habits. He learns new money habits. He would be, practicing good spending habits. He would also be practicing having an abundance mindset. He might be doing affirmations, and he does everything, not just like one thing. And I kind of feel that for you, where it's like some of you could even be, going this way. You could be developing like new money habits that lead to fulfillment, since that is the theme of your reading. Next, in the area of your future, you have this Moth Spirit. It says surrender now. You have three cards. You have this Rhino Spirit that says overcome any obstacle. And you have this Turkey that says give with grace and gratitude. So the turkey is also a symbol of abundance. And a lot of you, I feel, could be creating a certain level of abundance in your life. The Surrender Now card, I feel, is talking about that Seven of Swords. It says that you have to be more playful and practice non-attachment to outcome. And a lot of people, what I'm trying to spit out here before I stutter too much here, Libra, a lot of people have been getting these cards of overcoming obstacles. The new moon at the end of this month, May, is really good, and I think a lot of people could be clearing up obstacles. The first new moon after like all the retrogrades that we've had, but whenever we just have one retrograde, it's like the first new moon after the retrograde is usually where we kind of fully clear past all that energy. So again, it kind of makes sense to me that a lot of people have been getting these cards in this set of readings. You have the Ace of Cups, the Strength card, and the King of Pentacles. Again, this is your future position. The Ace of Cups can say that you will be very happy and that your emotions will be overflowing at this time. I kind of do feel that this is an offer that you are receiving. It's like something that brings you peace. So, again, like I said earlier, this could definitely be a position or a job that you're getting that kind of more aligns with your skills. It could be any type of offer, really, and that you're getting, but whatever it is, I feel it brings you peace, and that's like the important thing that I'm getting off of the card. I would also say it's something that doesn't make you feel drained. The Ace of Cups can reach down into the water below it, and it can fill itself up very easily. And so Ace of Cups type offers are usually things, any type of offer, love, business, money, spirituality, health, whatever. They're usually the offers that fulfill us and also that give us energy as well. And I don't know, that's popping into my head as important. Maybe the offers you have been receiving drain you. You have the Strength card. Yeah, it's like you've waited a long time for this, is what I feel like saying. The Strength card is a card of developing strength, but really intuitively I feel more like yeah, sure, you could have been working on yourself. I feel like you probably have. You've been putting yourself under a magnifying glass or a microscope or something with that Justice card I was saying. But I kind of feel this is something, it's like you're finally getting something that you've been waiting for, and like I said, it could definitely be a job or a position that you are receiving. The Strength card is also about taming your inner voice. The lion is submitting to her, its tail is between its legs here, and the lion represents her inner voice, but she is the one that is in control of her inner voice. So a lot of you could be taking control with that card. You have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles can represent money, of course, and wealth, which is kind of what I feel for you. He's one other thing that's popping into my head here, Libra, is he's very practical. And I feel that you could be becoming very practical with your finances. It's like I see you just being very kind of straightforward and just saying, like, I'm just going to stick to these rules, right, with your finances. And for whatever reason, I also feel that this is going to have like a big impact on your life. It's like you just being a little bit more responsible, a little bit more, abundance thinking. And I really feel the whole entire reading is talking about these kind of like minor changes. It's like imagine, like I said, you were tightening something up with that Justice card. It's like imagine if you're like screwing something in. It's like you're just giving it that one last little twist to make sure that the screw is tight. And that is the best way I can describe the energy that I'm getting off this reading. It's like there's not much for Libra to do with whatever it is you're working on. You're just like giving it that last little twist to make sure that something is tight, and that's the best way I can describe it. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Magician. Yes, like I said with the Strength card, I was kind of getting this feeling that you've been like waiting or asking for something. And I definitely feel here that you have been waiting or asking for something with that card. Now, he is pointing to the Five of Pentacles. So again, the Strength card is about focusing on your strengths. The Five of Pentacles says that you could be focusing on your weaknesses. So it's almost like the Magician is saying that your solution is to double down on your strengths. And that is exactly what I would do here. Next, with the Strength card, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant can represent like blessings from the universe, and he is blessing with his hand right here these two people in front of him. So you could be receiving blessings from your, you could be receiving blessings from all the work that you've done. The Strength card, again, is kind of like a card of work that you've done in the past, which we said with that Fulfillment card. So it's like your fulfillment is coming from work that you've done on yourself, putting yourself under a microscope, whatever the case may be. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups can represent a turnaround. Six of Cups can say that you've been bumping up against obstacles, which you have that card that represents overcoming obstacles. I always say that, I have a couple of cards that I call clue cards in the tarot, and they're just cards that sometimes can be a clue to like something else going on. And the Six of Cups can represent you like a gift from the universe. And the gift we usually receive from this card is that we are overcoming an obstacle. So I definitely feel that. If you do want love, you definitely could be like waking up to a person here, or you have the King of Pentacles twice in the Four of Wands. This could be an earth sign or a very like grounded, practical, straightforward person. Like a straight shooter here is kind of what's popping into my head, Libra. So there definitely could be love. Next, in your outcome position, you have this Focus card and the Past card. So a lot of you, I feel, need to release the past because of the Five of Pentacles. And also, the Six of Swords is showing up in this row. and I feel you need to be more focused on the future. I also feel that just a tiny little bit of energy of needing to focus on things you can control. Four of Pentacles, sometimes with the Four of Pentacles, we are just being stubborn. And, I'm not calling you out here. I am a super stubborn person myself, so I get it. But, what I would say is, like, sometimes we want things to change, but they just don't. And, I feel this is saying, like, focus on what you can control in your life. You have the Five of Pentacles, Death card, and the Six of Swords. Again, Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold. But like I said, the solution is very simple. You have to focus on your strengths. And if you do that, then things will improve. And, that's what I would do here. I would also be focusing on simple solutions in your life. They have this church behind them. And the church represents a place of sanctuary. The whole point of the Five of Pentacles is that there is a very simple solution that could solve their problem. They could easily go inside that church, right? It kind of reminds me of, like, years ago, I always tell a story. I was stuck in my room for years doing nothing with my life, and my parents kept telling me to get a job, but I refused to get a job at that time because I thought I was like some entrepreneur or something. And really, if I just got a job, my life would have been 1,000 times easier, right? And, I would have had plenty of time to do my entrepreneurial things at that time. So it's like sometimes we don't want to focus on the easy solution, but we should, even if it's a temporary solution, right? And I kind of feel that for some of you, where it's like there could be a solution to anything that you're dealing with, and I think maybe you're not focusing on it because you think that you would have to do it forever, but you don't. You have the Death card. There are a lot of change cards coming up in this reading, obviously. So a lot of you, Judgment, Seven of Pentacles, change in direction, the World, we go from the Fool to the World, then we start all over again as the Fool. So we have a lot of these cards that would signal a big change coming in for you, and yeah, I think there's a big change. You have the Six of Swords, heading towards improvements. Again, I would completely cut out the past. The thing about the Six of Swords is that this woman and the child, they only have the clothing on their back. They are bringing nothing with them across those choppy waters. So they are completely starting over. And a lot of you, I'm not saying that you're completely starting over, but you definitely could be cutting out the past and kind of moving in a new direction. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Swords. Love it. Two aces. Ace of Swords is a victory, and it is also a card of fortitude. It is a card of strength. So a lot of you really are probably focusing on your strengths. I also always say with this card, this is my card of laser-like focus. It says, like, what you focus in on is exactly what you're going to get. So I would make sure to focus on the victories. This is also a card of overcoming obstacles. And the whole entire reading kind of says you're overcoming some obstacle that you've been dealing with. The sword is above the mountains, so it represents overcoming an obstacle, and that's probably what you're doing. With the Death card, you have the Knight of Cups. Definitely could be a Knight in Shining Armor. Again, I wouldn't really call this a love reading, but if you want love, obviously it's here. And you have a bunch of marriage cards as well. You have Four of Wands, Hierophant showing up here. The Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, or Knight of Cups, sorry. King of Pentacles would be a person that really wants something that lasts a long time. So it does look pretty good for love if you've been like wishing for it or asking for it. With the Six of Swords, your best friend, Libra, right here, Queen of Wands. I'm pretty sure you get this card with me a lot. And, the Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive. I kind of sometimes I feel that she is almost talking about like irrational self-confidence where, it's like a little bit irrational. And I feel like that would be a very good energy right here, is that you need to be like, have a little bit more like irrational self-confidence in your life. And if you do that, then things will probably go very well. You have this Beetle card. It says good fortune on it. Yeah, very good reading. Again, these readings, I wouldn't say they've been bad, but like a lot of people have had the Tower, for example, in this set of readings. So, kind of like iffy. But yours is definitely very positive, so I like it. You have this Throne card. It says position of authority. You definitely could be getting into a position of authority. You have the Hierophant here. The Hierophant is a teacher, and so some of you could be kind of stepping into those like leadership roles where you are like guiding people or showing people how it's done, right? You have this Unicorn. It says use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Yes, definitely. We are in a very intuitive time, so any intuitive messages you receive, I would listen. You have this Rose card. It says romance is in the air. Yeah, clearly, if you want it. Like I said, not really a love reading, although there is a a good amount of love here. So if you want it, I would definitely put yourself out there more. You could be attracting, again, I feel like this is a very straightforward person. It might be a little weird at first. I feel like I said this to you recently. It just, sometimes a person can be so direct that you almost think they're lying, right? But I don't know. I feel like this is a person, it's like they say something and they say exactly what they mean. So you might be a little bit like kind of shocked at first when you meet a person like this, because most people aren't straight shooters, right? Most people kind of dance around things. I feel like this person is just very like direct personality. You have this bad card. It says something, you can't make this one up. Something important, such as a new job or a race. Exactly what I said. So, that Ace of Cups, yeah, sure, could be a love offer. For some of you, clearly it is, but it could be both as well. You could be getting love and like a new job or a position. So I love this reading for you, Libra. Probably one of the better readings you've had in a while, I would say. So love it, take advantage of it, and thank you for being here.